Cipher versus her light cone. And the reason I'm doing this today, guys, is because I genuinely do feel as though that there is a pretty strong reason on why you might want to skip Cipher just altogether and get her the light cone, guys. Like, her light cone's super good. So we're gonna break down everything in today's video, going over pros and cons to actual costs of the light cone, everything like that. So let's go ahead and hop into it here, guys, with the breakdown first. This is gonna be breaking down kind of Cipher's whole kit, like in a very condensed way versus what the light cone is gonna be able to do, and then we'll get into the pros and cons after this. First of all, Cipher, she offers true damage, meaning she doesn't have to worry about resistances, defenses. She also doesn't worry about crit in this matter, and this is like the main source of her damage, I would say. But this damage is going to be based off of your team's damage. So the lower damage your teams hit, the lower damage she does. The higher damage your teams hit, the higher damage she does, right? So that it could be good or bad depending on your account. Now on to number 2, guys, here, which is debuffs. Yeah, she offers 3 different types of debuffs. One debuff is a proc, which is this one right here, meaning you can put this on the enemy from just attacking them with a skill move, which consumes 1 SP. Now, this is not going to be including, obviously, light cone here, or Pearls of Sweat light cone, which can inflict a debuff just from attacking the enemy. Secondly, guys, she offers a 40% invulnerability debuff, which is absolutely massive, actually, and can help out just about every single team in the game because of the fact that this is on the enemy at all times. Super massive here. And then finally, Patron, which Patron is literally just the kind of thing she does to start accumulating damage for her ultimate move. So these are the 3 things, the 3 debuffs she puts on the enemy. This is going to be really good for characters like Dr. Ratio, and the proc can help out characters like Acheron as well, but we'll touch more on that in the pro and con section later. Next, guys, she does FUA attacks, meaning she does follow-up attacks, and with these free follow-up attacks, guys, she gets 100% free crit damage from them, from one of her bonus abilities that she has, meaning that whenever you're using her one follow-up attack every single turn she gets, she is going to be getting 100% free crit damage on that attack. And obviously this is going to be a pretty decent source of damage, but it only happens 1 time per turn. You need to get a lot of speed into her to make sure she's acting very frequently, but the free 100% crit damage here just makes her that much easier to build, though this will not affect the damage she's going to be doing with her true damage move, so just keep that in mind, guys. Next, guys, speed equals crit rate and recorded value. If you have 140 speed to 170 speed, it's going to be giving you different values. At 140 speed, you're getting 25% crit rate and 50% extra recorded damage. At 170 speed, you're getting 50% extra crit rate and 100% extra recorded damage. This right here is going to be very detrimental that you hit 170 speed with her, because it does give you an extra 25% of your crit right here, but it also gives you a massive extra 50% of damage you're going to be recording on the enemy. So this is going to lead her to doing more damage with her ultimate move, which is her true damage right here. So you really do want to be hitting this threshold, and it gives crit as well, which will help out the follow-up attacks, which will help out the skill attacks, which will help out the basic attacks. But do keep in mind, it will not help out the ultimate move, or the true damage from it anyways. Now, hopping in S1 here, guys, speed up by 18%. This affects anyone in the Nihility class. Everyone in the Nihility class really does want speed. Don't mind this tier list here. We just did a Zinla Zone 0 tier list, so if you want to check that out, it'll be out in a couple days, because I do ZZZ content as well. And subscribe to the channel if you like Honkai Star Rail and Zinla Zone 0 content. But hopping over here, guys, to what I mean by this is literally, I think just about every single Nihility character, maybe barring 2 or 3, can really use this. Acheron can use this. Black Swan can use this. Gwenithan can use this. Jiao Zhou can use this. Kafka can use this. Maybe not Luca. Pela definitely. Sampa maybe not. Silverwolf for sure. Fugue, Welt can use this as well. Like, so a lot of these characters can take use of this. It gives them a free 18% increase to speed, which is absolutely massive. And then on top of this, guys, I'm having 2 different debuffs, right? One will be a guaranteed 16% defense down. This is literally an upgraded version of Pearls of Sweat, because as you know, Pearls of Sweat at S5 will only be giving you 16% defense down, not the increased speed. So overall, this is already better than that, and that is one of the best light cones in the game already. But on top of this, guys, if your speed is over 170, which if you have Cipher in your account, then you're probably going to be hitting over that margin. But if you do get 170, and say with your Kafka or something like that, then this will be giving you an extra 8% defense down, which is absolutely massive. This just adds so much to the defense shred. And for characters like Pela that really thrive off of defense down, or even Jiao Zhou that really thrive off of getting some extra defense down, because this whole kit revolves around vulnerability, this can be really solid to have on your account, and will help out Acheron teams overall, because it's going to be proccing a debuff off. So absolutely huge, absolutely massive. That's why this comparison is even being made, because I feel like a lot of the times you can just run this light cone and without having to run her, and you're just completely fine. Right now, hopping into the pros and cons section here, guys. First of all, starting off with Cipher first, she has 3 different debuffs, which is an absolute pro for her, right? Well, a pro in the sense that it can work for characters like Dr. Ratio, maybe not as much for characters like the Acheron, right? Now, the reason I say that is because if you're genuinely wanting to run her on an Acheron team, you do want at least S1, or you want Pearls of Sweat on her, right? So you do want one of those two options on her. If you don't have Pearls of Sweat, then obviously you're not going to be getting this, but that's like a requirement to put her in that team. So she does have 3 debuffs, not all of them proc off though, and that means every move she has doesn't necessarily give you the extra defense down, and that also means you have to build extra effect hit rate into her. Next up here, guys, she's going to be taking a slot of someone in the team. This means if you have a team with Acheron, right, or even a team with Fei Xiao, right, she's going to be taking one of those 4 slots, one usually for sustain, one usually for your main DPS, one usually for your support, and then that final role she could fill, or maybe someone better could fill, right? So for an example, right, if we were to run something like this team right here, an Acheron team, right, normally like the best in slot team is going to be like Acheron, Zhao Cho, maybe a Pela, and then you run your sustain, right? I genuinely do think that she's the second best in slot character on the team, but she's not better than Zhao Cho, right? So if you had E2 Acheron, it doesn't really apply there. If you even go over to a team, let's say with follow-up characters, right? Let's go to Hunt real quick. Fei Xiao wants follow-up characters. She wants a lot of attacks. She wants to be getting her charges back up, right? Topaz already is going to be offering you a 50% vulnerability debuff to the enemy with follow-up attacks or from follow-up attacks, which is everything Fei Xiao does. So on this team, does it really make sense there? No, not really. In the second slot there, you'd probably just run like a Robin or something like that. That could be a pro or a con depending on the situation that you're in there. Will scale damage with power creep. That means when characters get stronger, enemies get stronger, her damage will go up, or it will stay the same if you don't also increase your DPS that you have in your account as well. I think this overall is a pretty good thing, right? Like, I think this is bad if you don't have good DPS in your account, but why would you have bad DPS in your account, right? So I feel like overall this is a really big pro for her because she will always get better because she always will scale her damage based off of the damage that you're doing to the enemy, because she is going to be taking that number and dishing it out to the enemy in true damage. So that is absolutely massive for her there. So overall, yes, I love this. This is great. Amazing. 100%. This is a 100% a pro for her. Now, she is a jack of all trades but master of none, meaning she can do things like we mentioned up here, guys. Like, she does give herself crit rate and extra recorded value, which is nice. Recorded value being really nice. Crit rate being not so nice. But going on to the next thing here, follow-up attack with 100% free crit damage. Absolutely massive. She does do follow-up, which is really nice, but she's not very consistent with those follow-ups, right? She has one every single turn, which is arguably not too much. Then debuff. She gets 40% vulnerability. Absolutely massive. 10% less damage on enemy. Okay, that's just kind of there to give you the proc off, I guess. And then finally, there's true damage. The true damage is absolutely massive, but her under damage is not that massive in the grand scheme of things. So like I said, jack of all trades, master of none. She doesn't consistently do like high amounts of damage unless you have her built in a way that she's getting a lot of energy. Your team is doing a lot of damage, or your team's like a dolphin out or whaled out and you're doing a lot of damage, right? Then she, in turn, will be doing a lot of damage. That's why I say she's a jack of all trades, master of none. That also comes to team as well, because most of her team, she's second best in slot, and she's not first best in slot in a lot of different teams, so keep that in mind as well. Next is going to be damage is completely dependent on the team, and I put this as a con and a pro because this can go up, this can go down. Also kind of plays into that power creep thing. If your account and your team does low damage, she will do low damage. If your account and team does high damage, she will do high damage, which really incentivizes you to put more investment in your teams in terms of pools and stuff like that, right? Pools, light cones, stuff like that, because the more you invest there, the more damage they do, the more damage they do, the more damage she does. So overall, it puts more of an emphasis on you spending more money on your account and really upgrading her. Right now, hopping into the S1 here, right? First of all, it's the upgrade of Pearls of Sweat. Honestly, in my opinion, probably the best 4-star light cone that we have in the game right now for the Nihility class, so absolutely massive there. Can be used with any Nihility character. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, any Nihility character can use it, and most Nihility characters will take really good use of this. Now, kind of a con here, 170 speed for the extra debuff and defense. Yeah, that's down bad. Getting 170 speed with just about any character is down bad. That's not even saying that, like, Cipher helps herself with speed, sure. A lot of characters do not. So this is honestly down bad in my opinion, and this is a major con with this, because if you want to make it, like, a lot better than Pearls of Sweat, which arguably I would say the 18% speed is already making a lot better, but the extra 8% defense down, that's a large investment for the defense down that you're getting. I'm not gonna lie, for most characters anyways. And then finally, guys, Pearls is still extremely usable. Yes, like if you have 2 Pearls of Sweat, you can just run 2 Pearls of Sweat, and you're getting the job done. You're just missing out on that huge 18% speed increase. You're not missing out any extra damage down if you're not reaching that 70 speed threshold anyway. So, I mean, like, is it really that big of a step up? I don't know. So that kind of leads us to our final category here I want to talk about, which is cost, right? Now, this is the average cost of both of these things, right? And this is the kind of the reasons or the crux why I've made this video. Obviously, getting a light cone is obviously going to be less in terms of, like, your Jade spent versus a character, right? As you can see here, 50-50 on a character, 75-25. So already the odds are in your favor here, right? To max out the pity with both of these things, right? It's 180 pulls here, 160 pulls here. That is around an extra, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3,000 Jade, which is almost 2 pull, like 1.5 pulls there. to get this guaranteed versus this one. This if you lose a 25 here too, so the odds are already in your favor, so this could go down dramatically. If we're talking about averages here, guys, my bad guys, I fucked this one up. Anyways, guys, besides that, this is 154 pulls versus 138 pulls on average. That's 24,000 jades versus 22,000 jades. Obviously, that's going to be slimming down a bit when you're taking the average pulls into account here. And then this is if you win your 50 on average pulls, 12,000 to 11,000, so not too much here, but you do have to win a 50 over here, so your odds of losing a 50-50 are 25% higher than losing a 25% over here. So all in all, guys, do I think that you should skip Cipher and get her light cone? I don't think that's the case. I do think the speed is great. I do think that the overall defense down is great. I still feel like Cipher is a lot, still very future-proofable. Don't get me wrong. I feel like where Cipher kind of falters out is Cipher you want a hyper-specific account for. You really want like a specific account for. In terms of like the investment you already have on characters and the investment you plan on investing in characters in the future. If you are a dolphin and or a whale, I definitely 100% would recommend you getting Cipher. I think she'll help you out a lot more. If you're more free to play Andy, you only have like E0s in your account and stuff like that, I do think this light cone will be better for you. Like this light cone can literally put on your Pela, increase your speed, give her extra defense down, but at the end of the day, the defense down you're providing, if you're not hitting that 170 speed, it's nothing different than Pearls of Sweat. So that is my opinion on this, guys, and I want to give you one little insight here from a viewer that put a comment on one of our last videos here, which goes over the full dichotomy of do not something on Cipher and stuff like that, guys. They actually offer some pretty good insight here by saying Cipher is extremely flexible in terms of debuff, offering 100% uptime simply by being on the field. For example, with Finon, who can effectively pair with JQ or Trigger, Cipher still boosts performance just by existing. And after his ult, she just nukes with her ult if people still alive. Please go watch the Do Not Summon on Cipher video if you haven't already. I think I did put a lot of good reasons on why you should maybe not want to summon for Cipher, because I do think Cipher is a very niche character and you have to have a very niche account to actually fit that character. But with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Anyways, that's going to do it, guys. See you later and bye-bye.